What's up everybody, Aditya Mahajan here and welcome back to yet another YouTube video. In today's video, we'll be solving another medium lead code problem number 1306, also called as Jump Game 3. It has also been asked in day 9 of December lead code challenge, so let's get started. We are given an array of non-negative integers and you are initially positioned at start index of the array. When you are at index I, you can jump forward or backward, that is I plus array of I or I minus array of I. Check if you can reach any index with value 0. Also, we are given that we cannot jump outside of array at any particular time. Now, let us try to understand this problem with the examples that they have given. So this is the first example and we are given an array and a start index. So start index is 5, so we'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we'll be starting from here. So what they are saying is we can move forward or backward, but this would be only the number of steps, that is the value that we are having here. So we can go one step back or one step forward. If this value was 2, we could have gone 2 steps back like this, but we cannot go 2 steps forward because it is out of bounds. Okay. And what we need to achieve is we need to see if we can reach an index having value 0. So if that is the case, we can reach 0, then we need to return true, or else we need to return false. So for example, the first example, if we look at this, then there are two possible ways how we can reach there. So we are starting from index 5, then we would go one step back. Then we would go to index 1, that is 3 steps back. And after that, we go 2 steps forward and we reach to 0. Similarly, there is the second also possible path which you can trace out. Now, there is also one more possible scenario that we do not reach to the index having value 0. For example, the third example that we are given. So here the start position is 2, that is this 2. And if you take any path, whatever you want to choose, there is no way we can reach to this index that is having value 0. So in that case, if we cannot reach to that particular index, in that case, we need to return false. Okay, so now let us try to understand how we can approach the solution of the problem. Now, to understand the solution of the problem, I want you to think in terms of the operations that we are performing to get the result. Okay. So what we are basically doing is we are starting from any particular index that we are given and then traversing backward or forward. At max, we have two possibilities to check. There could be less due to boundary conditions that we have. Now, after that, what we are doing is we are checking if we have reached an index having value 0. If not, we are continuing the traversal. So what we are basically doing is we are traversing and searching for any particular index satisfying our condition. So we can think of traversals, that is breadth first search or a depth first search. Now we'll come to depth first search. We'll start with depth first search and move on to breadth first search. So before that, I want you to also think of the corner cases. Now there would be two things in corner cases. First would be the boundary validations that we saw. If we are at first index, then we cannot go back. Okay, those are the validations that we need to add. And second validations would be that we do not enter the infinite loops, because there could be possibility that we never reach an index having value 0. So we will just keep on traversing again and again and again for the things that we have already done. So to handle that, what we can do is we are given that all elements of the array are positive. So what we'll do, once we traverse any particular element, so we'll multiply that element by -1 so that it becomes negative. And when we come back again and see if that element is negative, in that case, we know that we have already traversed and we now need to exit out of the loop. So those are the corner cases. And now coming back to the depth first search, we need to think of the recursive calls and the base conditions, that how we need to exit out of the recursive call, and that is the recursive stack. And then finally, how we will be handling the left, that is forward, and the backward calls. Okay, so now let us look at how we can code it. So before looking at the code, let me tell you the approach that we'll be taking. So for any particular index that we are traversing, we are checking if that particular index value is 0. If it is 0, we are done. We are just returning true because we are at the index where we have value 0. If the current index value is not 0, what we are doing, we are just taking that value and multiplying it by -1 so that we know we have already traversed this particular element. Now, after this, what we need to do is we need to carry forward the recursion, that is the backward calls, and the forward calls, that is moving in the array. So what we'll do, we'll just do a recursive call to the same function just by passing the position, that is the previous step and the forward step. Okay, so let us look at the code what we have. So this is the base condition that we have. Now the corner cases that we talked about is that we do not go outside the bounds, which is why we have these two conditions. That is, if the current index or the current I where we are checking is less than 0, that means we are on the left side of the array, or it is greater than or equal to 0, that means we are out of the array. Okay, towards the right side. So these are the cases where we need to return false. Also, there might be one more possibility is that we are in a loop. That is, we have already traversed this particular element. In that case, we know that all exploration is done and we just need to return false. After that, what we are doing is we are just marking the current element we are on by -1, so that we know afterwards when we come back to this. And if the we are finally checking our main condition, that is, if current index value is 0. If it is 0, then we return true because we have got the solution. And if not, then we just traverse backward and forward. That is, we call the recursive call for the can reach the same function, and we pass the array along with the forward step, that is the current index plus the value at this particular index, and current index minus the value at this particular index. Okay, so that's it. That's the approach. Now, moving on to the second approach or the solution that we have is with the help of breadth first search. Now, we already have seen the first two things, that is operations, what we are doing, and the corner cases. Now, if you have understood the first approach, then this is just a piece of cake, because all the things that we were doing earlier would be doing the same. Just what we need to do extra is we need to handle the recursive calls with the help of a stack or with the help of a queue. Because we are doing a BFS, then a queue would be a bit more helpful, and we can do this with the help of that very easily. So what we are basically doing is we are just handling the similar corner cases, that we are checking we are not going out of bounds. We are confirming by multiplying by -1, so that we are not going into loop. And finally, we will be using a queue, so that every time we check any element, we are pushing it to the queue. And once we are done processing that element, we'll just pop it off. Okay, and we'll just iterate through that particular thing once till our queue is empty. That is, we have traversed all the things. So let us look at the code what we have. Now, this is the code for the breadth first search. In the depth first search, what we did is we took one possibility and traversed that complete possibility till the end and saw if we reach 0. And then we go to the next possibility that is possible. And in the similar way, we traverse all the possibilities. But what we'll be doing in breadth first search is that we will taking all possibilities in parallel and moving one step at a time and checking if we are reaching to 0. Okay. So let us look at the code what we have. This is the basic standard BFS. That is, we are taking a queue and pushing the current element. So this would be the only element at the start, and we'll be iterating till we have anything to manipulate or traverse in the queue. Okay, so we'll just take the front and we'll just remove that element and start doing our manipulations. Now, the first thing that we are doing is we are just checking that have we reached to our target, that we need to check if we are at 0. So that is what we are doing. We are checking if array of current is 0. In that case, we are done and we just return true. Okay. Now, after that, what we are doing, if we are not at the index having value 0, then we are checking if this element is already visited. Now, if this element is already visited, we do not need to go again backward and forward from this particular point, because we have already traversed this, right? So that is the condition. Now, after this, if we have not visited this element, then we will do the backward and the forward manipulations that we have to do. So what we'll do, before that, we need to add the boundary conditions. That is, we are not going out of the bounds of the array at any point of time. So while moving forward, we are checking if the next step is greater than array of size. If that is the case, then we do not move, or else we are inside the bounds, then we just push that next step, that is current plus array of current. Similarly, in the backward case, uh, okay, so this is forward, this is backward. Okay. Similarly, in the backward case, what we are doing is we are checking if we are still in the bounds, that is, we are not going less than 0. If we are going less than 0, we will not do anything. But if we are in the bounds, then we'll just push again that element into the queue. Now, the last thing that we are doing is, so that we do not go into infinite loop, we are just marking that particular element to -1, so that we know next time when we come that we have traversed this. Now, this will be happening till our queue is empty. And if we had reached 0 at any point of time, then we would have returned from here, and then our function would have ended. But when it means that we have exited out of the while loop, then we have not returned and we have traversed all possible conditions, and there is no way we can reach to 0. So in that case, we just return false. Okay, so that is the approach. Now let us try to run our code and see if that works. Okay, so let's submit it quickly. And yes, that is giving faster than 80% times, and memory usage is less than 70.46%. So this was, I think this was the first approach runtime, and it gave me greater than 92%, I guess. Okay, so that's all for this video, guys. If you liked the video and understood the approach, you can hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you need more such LeetCode content. And if you did not understand anything, comment below. I'll try to respond as fast as possible. Join the Discord server if you need the future updates. And that's all. See you in the next video. Bye bye.